Hello, everyone. Another brainy live stream. And whether that's morning, afternoon, evening, and you still have things to do, this is definitely the live stream that you don't want to miss. If you've ever experienced this feeling that you, especially as an entrepreneur, you have so many hats to wear, you have so many things to do. If you want to move things forward, there are just almost endless list of things. But it feels very often, if you experience that your own brain doesn't want to help you, but instead kind of putting everything in your way to as obstacles. Sometimes you struggle with focus, sometimes with ADHD, sometimes with distracting thoughts of anxiety, or sometimes just random thoughts, right? You gotta focus on one thing, but your mind is all over the place at all the different times. Sometimes it's fatigue, sometimes it's burnout, sometimes your productivity, your energy just all over the place, not consistent. I often read and been often asked about personal productivity in a sense that people struggle with a lot of things when it comes to brain performance, and many people say and name those things by different things. Sometimes it's productivity, sometimes it's focus, sometimes it's fatigue, sometimes it's ADHD, sometimes it's what else, just not feeling like they're not, sometimes it's motivation, sometimes a lot of things, and people self-diagnose themselves with that, and very often they feel like they have to either get some medication or feel like they got to rely on some smart drugs or supplements or microdosing, when in reality all it has to do is basic lifestyle that is needed to support a very well functioning brain, a highly functioning, focused, productive, consistent brain. And there are, not so many things actually to take care of, but you need to take care of those basic lifestyle habits every single day, consistently, at least at the very least 80% of the time. And if you don't do that, you cannot really hope for great or even good brain performance. You will be struggling with learning, with flow states, with focus, with your energy, with your productivity, with your focus, with your motivation, with anxiety, lack of confidence, lack of ideas, like you hitting the wall with your mind if you don't do these habits. Again, I'm encountering just meet a lot of people online and in real life, especially entrepreneurs who are always looking for this next thing, like what I need to do to get better, to optimize my brain so I can focus on the right things, so I can come up with a lot of ideas, so I can learn and experiment rapidly. And at the same time, also feel like I have enough energy to live my life and feeling like a, whole person, instead of, kind of burning out, crushing. So long story short, like what do I gotta do? The question that I've been asked many times over the course of past several weeks was like, where do I start? It seems like there are so many things I gotta be doing, health and performance and productivity wise. Like, where do I start? And yesterday I just moved to Cape Town and I met a new friend. His name is Rico, and he's an onlinepreneur and also an athlete. And he asked me this question: okay, like I'm trying to be more focused and fix or improve my ADHD. Like, where do I start? Where do I start so I see more progress, more results faster? And without skipping a beat, I told him three things. Number one, you gotta fix your sleep, and specifically, you wanna start with sleeping 8 hours. Yes, you need to do that. But then also, what a lot of people miss is this piece that on the same schedule is very important. Why is that important? If you didn't know that, but actually, neuroscience researchers, brain researchers, they compare not sleeping on the same schedule, meaning 2-3 hours or even more being plus or minus, usually, plus getting later and then trying to get back on track with earlier sleeping times. So that is compared to jet lag. There is actually the name for it, social jet lag. Why jet lag? Because it is very similar to actual jet lag, or this desynchrony between what's happening in your brain and in the rest of your body, in different tissues, in different cells. Basically, your brain is desynchronized. It doesn't know where exactly is the daytime, where is the nighttime exactly, where do I need to prepare you for bed, where I need to prepare this person for productive day, where I need to prepare this person for having food or exercise. And when your brain doesn't know when and what happens when your brain doesn't know the schedule, everything, your energy, your productivity, your focus, even things like your digestion and your sleep like itself, it's going to be all over the place. For example, if you want to have great night of sleep, you need to optimize your melatonin production. But in order to do that, your brain again needs to know when to release this melatonin. It's not like it's going to be released as soon as you hit the pillow. No, your brain gradually prepares you for sleep, and that's how you end up having effective sleep or not non-effective sleep if you constantly switching the time, your waking time, your going to bed time. And again, a lot of processes in your body and brain are going to be desynchronized, and that's why in the morning you will feel groggy, and on many mornings you will not feel like you're ready to wake up, and you're not productive and not focused. All of that will improve if you start sleeping on the same schedule, plus minus 30 minutes, right? So just sleep on the same schedule. Now, and also in the appropriate time. Between 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. is the best time to start your sleeping cycle. Humans are designed to function throughout the day, not throughout the night. And even if you consider yourself night owl, you're still a human being who functions during the day, not during the night. So consistency of sleep and 8 hours in bed, that is the first thing your brain needs. And if you don't do that, do not expect your brain to be its most functional and effective self, right? Your brain will resist you and will be less productive, less focused, and less creative, and less capable of learning, of adapting, of resilience, of coming up with amazing, again, breakthrough ideas and insights if you simply don't do this sleep practice in the way that science shows is the best way. Now, the second thing you want to do every day, and not a lot of people still do this, light exposure practice. And not just any light exposure. What is light exposure? Light exposure in the literature is viewing sunlight outside with your naked eyes, without sunglasses, no hats, not in the shade, just outside. And to start your circadian rhythm, to set your circadian rhythm, to set the schedule in your brain, to synchronize all the processes in your brain and in your body for optimal performance, and also to improve your sleep quality, and to start going to bed on time and falling asleep on time and waking up on time, to release dopamine when you need to work, when you need to get focused in the morning. What you need to do is in the morning get outside and view sunlight, basically be outside, not in the shade, in the first couple of hours of sunrise, and as close to awakening time as possible, right? It's not enough to just get outside anytime. It's very important to see specific kind of light wavelengths that only happen during the morning. And this sets up a whole cascade of different reactions that happen in your brain, like again, dopamine release or serotonin release, among other things that start happening. And that again cascades all the way to the end of your day. and that helps your brain to produce melatonin on time that is actually made out of serotonin, and that helps you to fall asleep on the same schedule and set up a new day of productivity and focus, right? So first couple of hours awake and get outside and spend 10 minutes outside, or 30 minutes if it's really cloudy and raining. And again, without sunglasses, no hat that cover your eyes, and not in the shade. So that is the practice that a lot of entrepreneurs miss. They're like, I gotta work late. No, you can work anytime. You just gotta set your schedule right. Most of you are not shift workers. If you are a shift worker, that's a different story. You're still going to be compromising a lot of functions of your brain, but at least then you will have to design your day for it, because you have to. Optimal performance, again, is not possible during the night and with hours of sleeping all over the place. And the third practice that, again, a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, people in general still don't do, even though if you ask any nutritionist, any health professional, they're like, yeah, you gotta eat your protein in sufficient amounts. Usually it is recommended somewhere between 1.5, 1.7 grams per pound of body weight, or somewhere around, or no, 0.8, somewhere around that per pound of body weight. And then if we're talking about kilograms, then somewhere around 1.7 per kilogram of body weight. But I usually simplify it for my female and male clients. I say, if you're a female, at least 30 grams for breakfast, for lunch and dinner. If you're male, at least 40 grams. I would highly recommend doing more. If you're an athletic, if you're an active person, if you're a taller person, the bigger you are, the more protein you need. And why protein? Because your dopamine, the main molecule of motivation, of learning, of focus, of getting things done, of getting after things, this molecule is made of protein and specific amino acid L-tyrosine that is mostly concentrated in animal foods like chicken or beef or dairy products. Plant-based food, only tofu has sufficient amount. So protein, you need to eat it at every meal if you are interested in your optimal brain performance, in your focus, in your motivation, in your energy, in your clear mind. Especially if you do struggle with brain fog, try eating protein for breakfast. It might be a real game changer. Of course, if you do the sleep, if you do the light, that's why I started like this. So first you get your sleep right, at least the basics, on the same schedule, 8 hours. Then you get your light on time, and every day, right, first couple of hours of sunrise, as close to waking time as possible, every day. And then after that, start with protein. So get those done consistently, and then see what happens in a couple of weeks, and then start asking further questions. For a lot of you folks, a lot of problems will just fall away, and you'll be surprised how well you can do every single day consistently when you follow these simple practices that human beings are designed for. And most importantly, your brain is designed to function like that. If you have a brain between your ears, behind your eyes, then guess what, folks? You need to sleep on the same schedule, 8 hours. You need to see that morning sunlight, and you need to eat your protein. So that's about it, what I wanted to communicate today. We're going to continue our live streams further into this week. But for now, folks, if you have any questions about what you just heard, sleep optimization, light viewing optimization, protein and brain nutrition optimization, put your questions underneath this video. Comment no matter where you see and when you see this video. And also, I have an upcoming training, 6-week training, My Optimized Brain, that goes into nutrition and energy optimization and focus and motivation and procrastination and things like learning and flow states and creativity. You can check it out. There is a link underneath this video. It starts on May 5th. So check it out and definitely ask your questions. And again, If you struggle with anything related to your brain performance, like you think that your brain doesn't function well sometimes, then definitely start with that. Sleep on the same schedule, 8 hours, light exposure every morning, first couple of hours of sunrise, and then eat your protein. So start there, get it consistent, see what happens, and then build on top of that when and what needed. And check out our My Optimized Brain 6-week training for entrepreneurs. Check it out and have a productive rest of the day. And I'll see you soon.